Well, it's that time again. YieldMax Group 1 announced their distributions. So we're going to take a look at those. And toward the end of the video, I'm going to show you a put that I did sell today to earn a little bit of premium and what indicators I used in order to know what strike to select. Hello my friends, this is Legend. So today we're going to go through the announcement sheet for YieldMax Group 1. And as I stated at the end, I'm going to show you an option trade that I did sell today. And I also wanted to show you the indicators that I use to help select what that strike would be. So if you appreciate this type of content, please hit that like button. It would be much appreciated. All right, so here we are on the YieldMax distribution announcement sheet. So we're just going to go through this, find out what those distribution announcements are. And this is for December the 9th with an X date of December 10th and the payment date of December the 11th. So we'll start right off with Chippy with a distribution rate of 39 cents. Feet, 56 cents at a 107% distribution rate. Very nice. 5e, 38 cents, GPTY with 30 cents, LFGY with 33 cents, QDTY 34 cents, RDTY 33 cents, SDTY with 23 cents, SLTY with 47 cents. And this is the ultra short versus ULTY for the cover call strategy. And they're paying out 54 cents for ULTY. Very nice. YMAG with 12 cents and YMAX with 11 cents. So nothing really outstanding, but it is still money coming into the pockets of those who have these ETFs. For me, I have YMAX and I have ULTY. So I'll be able to update my spreadsheet according to those distributions, as every little bit does help. And here's a sheet for RoundHill, and this is for YBTC for 21 cents and YETH for 18 cents. And this is for the Defiance funds, and this has a distribution date of December 11th with an X date of the 10th. And for the ones on Defiance, it will be for AMDY for 25 cents, ETHI for 14 cents, HIMY 16 cents, HOOI for 19 cents, MSTY 21 cents, PLTY for 18 cents, SMCY for 13 cents, and QLDY for 18 cents. And that wraps up all of the distribution announcement sheets that I have. So now let's just go ahead and we're going to shoot right on over and talk about the option that I did sell today to make a little bit of premium. But before we go there, I just wanted to do a quick little update on MSTY. As you can see, MSTY is still somewhat trading sideways. It did move up a little bit today. We went up about 2.3%, and Mr. actually moved up 2.8%. And you can see Bitcoin actually moved up as well. Now, today, Bitcoin actually ended up breaking past that 93, but it could not hold it up there. It ended up falling back down into this little range. So if it cannot break past that 93, then Mr. and MSTY may be coming back down again tomorrow. But we'll see what tomorrow brings. Now let's just go ahead and let's talk about the option that I did sell today. And that was on ALL. And that's for Allstate. Now, Allstate is about a $200 stock, and therefore to sell a put, you have to have the cash available to buy at least 100 shares because each contract is 100 shares. So you have to have enough cash, and that would be $20,000 for one contract. And if you have multiple contracts, then it would be that 20,000 times how many ever contracts. Unless you have a margin account, and then you could use your margin for that. But this is my IRA account, so therefore I cannot have margin on an IRA account, and therefore I have to use cash. So I have to make sure I have that 20K available to sell that put. And since I did, I went ahead and I actually sold a put today. And that put is right here. And I sold it for December the 19th, as Allstate is a monthly option play. Their expiration dates are set monthly. And we can look over here at the option chain, and you can see right here, I've got it for this December the 19th. The next one being January, and then of course it jumps to March because it's just too far out. As it gets closer to January, there will probably be a February that will be available at that time. So for this one, I actually sold a put on December 19th, and we open that up, and you can see right here this -1, meaning I sold a put at 195. Now, the bid ask is 75 cents to $1.40, and it had a mid of about $1.08, okay? The last being $1.05, and that's exactly what I ended up receiving for that 195 put that I did sell. I earned $1.05 per share, and since this is one contract, that would be 100 shares, therefore I earned $105 with this expiration date of December 19th. So that's only 10 days away, and I earned $100. Now, why did I select the 195? As you can see, Allstate currently is at 201.05. So how I picked that 195 strike is, if we go back to the chart, I have this line drawn right here, and it's about right at that 195, okay? Give or take. But if I zoom back, you can see right here as it bounced off of this line, right? It bounced off of it. It did eventually break through it over here, but then what was it? It was a resistance. It tested it right here and got knocked back down, then got up here and broke through. Now what I'm looking for it to do is, now that it's gone up and it started coming back down, I'm looking for this to come on down and possibly test this 195 again. It may and it may not, but that's why I did select the 195, because if I can get those shares at this price, then I'm hoping that it's going to turn around eventually and just start moving on back up. Now, if I was assigned those shares at that 195, then I can look to sell that call at any price above 195, and that will be profitable for me. And as you can see back here, that high being around 214 and at a buy price of 195, that would not be too bad of a deal at all. I'm not sure if I'd be able to sell a 215 strike on a call, but we can take a look just to see if it is paying anything that far out, being at a $200 stock right now. And it looks like it goes from 210 to 220, but on the call side, it does have a mid of about 38 cents. So that'd be about 38 bucks, but that's a 220. But if I did a 210, I'm looking at getting roughly about $200 for that call. And that would definitely be better premium, because at that point, if it was above the 210, I'd let the shares go. It would take my shares at 210, but I bought them at 195. So that would be a $15 move on 100 shares. So therefore that'd be $1,500 in my pocket on just the price appreciation, not counting the premium that I would earn on selling that call, along with the $100 I did earn on selling the put. So that's why I did pick that 195, as it all had to do with the fact that I see that as a resistance line. And if I can get them at that price, I feel like that would be a pretty good price to get in at. And if it doesn't get down that low, it expires worthless, so be it. I won't have to buy the shares, but I still made $100 for just playing the game. Now, if we roll it back a little bit, how did I pick this stock in the beginning, right? What made me even look at ALL? And as I've said before, the things that I look for is on that 1 year chart. And there we go. That's that 1 year chart. I'm looking for that MA200, which is this red line. I want it to be moving up and to the right. And you can see it does have a slope upward. It's nothing dramatic, but it is moving up. And are those candles, for the most part, staying above that line? And you can see very visually that it is staying above that 200-day moving average. For the most part, it did drop down here, but then came back up, right? It did drop down here, but then came back up. And that's what I'm looking for, consistency, right? I want it to stay above that MA200 for a 1-year chart. And then I also want to see if it's going to stay above it on a 5-year chart. And here's the 5-year chart. Same thing. Red line is that MA200. And we did dip down a little bit below it right here, but not for long before we took back off, right? And we have been above it for pretty much the entire time. And this is a 5-year chart. Now, why does that matter? Well, it's just simply because if I was assigned those shares and I own them at, say, 195, I want a stock that I can feel that over time it's going to continue moving up. Now, nothing is guaranteed, and this is not financial advice, but just looking at the history of it, it looks to be going up over time on the 5-year chart and the 1-year chart. It is moving up. So if I was ever assigned those shares and that price did drop, this 1-year and this 5-year chart is going to give me a little bit more assurance, not a guarantee, but a little bit better of a feel that this will move up over time. So for me, that's a pretty good insurance policy in my books. But I can't stress it enough, that is not guaranteed, and I am not a financial advisor. So once I've seen that the 1-year and the 5-year chart are moving up and to the right, and those candles are staying pretty much on top of that 200 MA, then I move over to the next step. And that's looking at the day chart. I can zoom in on that day chart, and there we go. And we still have that MA turned on. So let's turn the moving average off, and then let's turn on the Bollinger Band right here. So once I find out that the 1-year and 5-year chart for that moving average is up and to the right, and most of the candles are staying above it, right, overall, then I move to the Bollinger Band. And you can see the Bollinger Band, I want the candle toward the bottom of that Bollinger Band. I want it at least on the bottom half. I prefer it to be at the bottom of that Bollinger Band, but it doesn't have to be. And the next thing I would be looking for is on that RSI2. I want that RSI2, which is this number right here. When I hover over the end, that yellow RSI2 is currently at 8.19. I want that under 10, and it is. So therefore, that's telling me we've got a short-term pullback. Since those candles are staying above that 200-day moving average, and those candles are on the bottom half of that Bollinger Band, and it is below 10 on the RSI2, then for me, that is a potential buy. And you can see I actually did buy some shares here. I bought 3 shares at 200.99, right? Before I actually went in and decided to sell a put on it. And like I said, the reason I selected that 195 is simply because that is where I'm seeing this support. And if it can come down to that point, assign me at 195, I think I would be okay with that. Because turning those moving averages back on, you can see we are sitting right at the bottom of that moving average, 200-day moving average. So that to me is a potential buy, as long as the candles normally would want to stay above that 200 and are normally moving up and to the right. So there's a lot of criteria you have to look at, and you have to make your own decisions, of course. But I'm just trying to show you some of the things that I'm looking at, how I'm selecting my strikes and or my purchases. So that's just some of the things that I'm doing, and I am notifying my Discord members of those purchases, of when I'm getting in, at what strike I got in. And I'm also trying to provide them my thoughts of what I'm using and how I'm selecting. So I'm super excited about this one. I love selling options. And like I said, if I do get assigned those shares, that's okay, because at that point, I'm looking to sell that call above my purchase price, And that is going to be the price appreciation on top of those premiums I've earned. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button and smash the like button, as it would be much appreciated. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, Legend out.